Thrifted this! So I am your main host, Shion.
And I'm Gabby, and today we're so excited that Kotaha is in the studio with us.
So Kotaha is usually on location with Joe, but today she's joining us because I feel like she also has a great sense of style too. So I thought she's the perfect host for this as well. So I just want to give you guys a quick summary of what the show is about. So this podcast will be delved into the Japanese thrifting scene and the vibrant culture, hidden treasures, and the unique experience of secondhand shopping in Japan. So this podcast is for anyone basically, but if you like to thrift, if you want to upgrade your wardrobe in an affordable way, or you just are starting your thrifting journey, this podcast is for you. So in our podcast, we mostly talk about topics that connect with thrifting, and we also talk about specific thrift-friendly neighborhoods in Japan. So for example, in our first episode, we talked about self-expression. I talked about it with Gabby, and we also talked about Shimokitazawa. So then for this episode, we'll be talking about sustainability and upcycling, and our main location will be Harajuku. And for each episode, we normally talk about the topic first, but we'll start off with the location. So I'll hand this to Joe.
Hey everyone, it's Joe here, and today I'm alone since Kotaha decided to betray me for the studio team. Whatever, I have a question for you though. What place is synonymous with fashion, purikura, and crepes? Well, of course, it's Harajuku. It's the birthplace of some of the most iconic street styles and has been the favorite hangout spots for young creators in Tokyo for many generations. While different Harajuku styles have spread across the globe in the last few decades, it was the international influence on Harajuku that paved the way for the fashion that we love today. From the 50s post-war to the booms of fashion in the 70s and even its peak in the 2000s, Harajuku has stood the test of time. And with the birth of the internet, it was introduced internationally, becoming known for its unique fashion scene. Even as far as having Western celebrities don the Harajuku fashion, like Nicki Minaj and Lady Gaga. And with all this, Harajuku became more than just a place to shop. It's a place to socialize and explore alternative fashion in a safe environment. The iconic main street, Takesha Street, is a must-see on any trip to Harajuku. Located just across the street from the Harajuku station, this pedestrian paradise is usually filled and packed most days of the year. The street is lined with small, quirky shops hawking inexpensive clothes and accessories, as well as your regular stores like Daiso and other drugstores. At Harajuku Chicago Inc., there's a mixture of kimonos as well as 80s, 90s vintage American wear, all for a pretty fair pricing. I want to say around 2,000, 3,000 yen average. The American wear is more towards the sports side, I'd say, as well as maybe a little bit more grandma looking for the women. Just upstairs from Harajuku Chicago Inc. is Kinji, which is pretty much the same aesthetics, except it has a more deeper emphasis on antique clothing. They also have their own original remake brand, which upcycles old clothing into their own new creations. And they sell it right here at the stores. If you don't know what upcycling is, it is the act of taking something no longer in use and giving it a second life and new function. That can take form in a lot of different things, from clothing to bags, dresses, all sorts of different things that you can make by using old material. This is another store we found here called Blue. Though it is not necessarily inexpensive, it does make it up, however, with its insane quality, especially if you're looking for the 70s aesthetic. For example, it doesn't lack any corduroy pants, flared pants, and especially doesn't lack any leather. Like I said though, it is not very inexpensive. The average leather jacket is probably to be around $200, but the quality does make up for it in every way. If you're looking for a style very specific to Japan, you should check out Miko. They offer a variety of different aesthetics, going from cutesy to streetwear, anime, neo grunge. The pricing's a little above average, I would say, but for the quality and the stuff that you're getting, I think it's kind of worth it. Okay, and that's everything I have to offer for my mini Harajuku tour. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Shion and the gang over there at the studio, who are going to be talking about upcycling and sustainability when it comes to clothing. While they do that, I'm going to be grubbing because I am absolutely starved. I have a date with Teddy's Bigger Burgers here in Harajuku. Heavily recommended because it is like my baby out here. Yeah, no, I'm going to eat. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Okay, so welcome back, guys. Thank you so much, Joe, for the little tour of Harajuku. Me and Gabby were actually there with him, and it was a beautiful day.
I know.
It was so nice.
Gorgeous.
Like, it was so fun.
Yeah.
And we were checking out these like thrift stores, and there were some thrift stores that we've never been to. Yeah. So it was also like a new experience for us, you know. Sure. So how do you guys feel about like the thrifting culture in Harajuku?
I mean, I don't really thrift there. That's not the spot that I go to for thrifting. But actually going there, there's very specific aesthetics going on. So like certain stores, they had like a 70s aesthetic or streetwear aesthetic, which was really nice to see, kind of things put like compartmentalized like that. Yeah. Like that store Blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Blue.
Was really nice.
That was
it was like
really
a
nice.
small store. There was one guy working in there. It was a 70s aesthetic, and he was just like ironing clothes in the corner. It smelled so good. Like, thrifting is usually not like that. So I think that's kind of where what it's like.
Yeah, and I think like the difference between like Harajuku and like I don't know Koenji is that like Harajuku, like the store owners are taking care of like the thrifted clothes, you know.
Yeah.
Also, you know how like people go and like sell the clothes. I feel like they really take the time to look and see like and think about like how much they would be able to sell this, you know. Yeah. So you can tell like they do really take care of their clothes there. Yeah. But that's why it's like more expensive too, you know.
More expensive. So. I think that's why Japan kind of has people think thrifting is so expensive here because Harajuku is like the main fashion place here and thrifting is really, really expensive.
It's just well taken care of though. Yeah. So like and also I noticed that like the clothes are a lot more unique too in Harajuku, which you kind of mentioned it, but it's like
also like they have like a different vibes, you know, like there's also like the vintage clothes, there's also like the street blend. So it's kind of fun to
I think everyone kind of has their own kind of aesthetic going on there, which is nice. I feel like Koenji, like there's this very specific like mature vibe there, but in Harajuku it was like very different, all the stores we went to.
No, definitely. Cool. But I also noticed that like as you mentioned, like there's different vibes. Like there's like the 70s like style clothes, and then across from it was like this like emo store. You know?
It's, like, there was so much going on.
Yeah, there's like so many different types of like genre clothing.
Yeah, because the place often adopt the latest like trend, you know, including clothes, also like food. So
everything is very on trend. I was like, if you're on TikTok and you want to get a specific piece there, you can go to Harajuku and they'll probably have it.
But I think the one negative thing is when we pass by Shein.
I know. Shein, okay, first of all, we didn't even know there was a Shein, like an actual in-person Shein store. Yeah. I knew that Shein had a pop-up here. Yeah. But I didn't know that it actually stuck. Like, we were walking, and we, like, our mouth just, like...
We were like, what? What is this?
What is this?
Where I was like, I thought this was, like, online, you know?
Right.
So, like, you can tell that, like, fast fashion, like, Shein is, like, creeping into Harajuku, which is, like... I hate.
I know. I was like, what is going on here,
like,
people?
I know, because I just hate when I find like Shein stuff like in thrifted stores.
That's also the problem.
It's like they're gentrifying it. I don't know. I really don't like it. So like on the topic of Shein, which is a huge fast fashion brand, you know. We also want to talk about it in this podcast because since we're talking about sustainability and like and upcycling, I think fast fashion kind of plays a role in that, like the reason why people do those things, you know. So if you want to start off with like what fast fashion is, that'd be great.
So like the fast fashion can be defined as cheap, trending clothes that samples idea from like catwalk or like celebrity cultures and turn them into like garment at the extremely fast speed, like to meet like consumer demand.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the idea of like the fast fashion idea is to get like newly like styles on the market as fast as possible, you know. So then like those buyers or shoppers can get them like while they are still at like a height of their popularity, and then sadly like discard them like after a few wears, which is such a waste. And I feel like fast fashion plays a role or plays into the idea that outfit repeating, you know, is a no-no. You know? Like that if you want to stay relevant, you have to have like new clothes. And I think that forms like a toxic system of like, overconsumption and like overproduction, which like is a main factor of why like fashion is one of the world's largest like polluters, you know, just like the overconsumption and the overproduction. So like some of the like recognizable fast fashion brands would be like Zara, H&M, Shein, and like Forever 21, you know.
And I think a part that kind of isn't talked about a lot, but fast fashion really harms small designers, especially through TikTok when, you know, you see all like the newest trends and stuff all the time. The one that I can think of is the strawberry dress from Lyrica Matoshi. I don't know where she's from, but in 2020, her pink strawberry dress went super viral. It was like one of the most gorgeous dresses I've ever seen in my entire life, and everyone was trying to get their hands on it. And then Shein saw like how popular it was getting, so then they overproduced the strawberry dress for like, I don't know, $20 or something like that. So then these stores were getting overpopulated with this one specific design that now people kind of associate her designs with being like cringy and like very...
That's actually like heartbreaking.
I know, like...
Because that's like her idea. That's like her hard work too. And then some huge like billion-dollar company steals that idea.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't hire people to think of like these types of designs, and it just like ruins her like I don't know, her brand, you know.
Yeah, I definitely think people kind of think of her as a designer now in this very negative way, and it's happened to so many small designers.
I see it all over like social media and like even in person too. I'm like, oh, that looks like whatever, like that like specific brand. But then I'll ask about it and they're like, oh, it's actually from Shein. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
They just rip off like these small business owners.
Yeah. People complain like that small designers, their clothes are very expensive, but they're expensive because they're made like, you know, very like they're really cared for, and they're made in like love, not bad labor conditions.
Exactly.
So you know,
it's their hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it's gonna be expensive. Like, it's very understandable.
Yeah.
So we also want to like do a little segment on like why you should not shop fast fashion. So to start off, fast fashion. Like such like a throwaway culture.
Yeah.
Secondly, like the unethical labor behind fast fashion, you know, as well as the environmental cost of fast fashion, there's a human cost too, you know. And although most of our stuff is from like sweatshops and stuff like that, the worst of the worst are from clothing. What?
Repeat from number 1. The audio cut out.
Okay. Okay, so sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, let me repeat what I said, but the reason why you should not shop fast fashion is because of how terrible fast fashion is for the environment, you know. It is one of the largest polluters in the world, and there are so many combinations of factors that create a harmful like cycle that damages the environment. So for example, the landfills, you know. Most of these landfills are filled with clothing, you know, and like I've seen pictures, it says like Shein or like Zara, and I'm like,
that makes sense actually.
Guilty, you know. And then like since like fast fashion, they use like polyester a lot. Like it's very cheap, but it's also it could really rip easily. So I feel like people just like throw it away. And then like I think fast fashion also created a culture called like a throwaway culture, you know, where like people just like buy new things because they can and it's so easily accessible and cheap, but then they only wear it once and then they just like throw it away. So secondly, fast fashion is terrible or it's just very unethical, like unethical labor. The sweatshops, you know, I've heard so many stories about like the workers like just being treated terribly, and then like it's just they also work in very dangerous environments, you know, and they don't have like livable wages, you know. It's just like a like it really violates like human rights. It's really terrible. And then thirdly, as we mentioned, it's very unoriginal. Like as previously noted, like brands like Shein, Zara, and H&M, they rapidly launch like new designs because they largely rely on like copying rather than like creating original designs, you know. And like Shein, I read, launches like 6,000 new clothes every single day.
Every day.
How is that even possible?
I know, like you gotta really think
like
about
they must have taken ideas from other companies, you know. It's just so easy to do that. And I know I'm not very innocent when it comes to fast fashion. Like I don't think any of us are, you know. But after like learning about what these brands do, I feel like it kind of limits myself and like I'm more aware of it. And I think that's like the important part because then like you consume less, you know. And I think that's what is like important. And it is difficult to stay away from fast fashion because it's very cheap and easy to like access, but I think it is unnecessary to constantly like buy new clothes all the time. So, you know. So, Gabby, if you...
Yes. Now I'm going to give everyone some tips on how to spot fast fashion brands. I think nowadays it's a little bit harder to tell. Like, there's obviously the big ones, Zara, Forever 21, Shein, but a lot of companies are starting to greenwash their clothes, saying that they are sustainable companies, but they're really not. So here are some ways to spot a fast fashion brand. The first one is when a store has thousands upon thousands of different styles, and there's in their in-person stores and their online stores. So if an online store has like more than 10 pages of different clothing, you have to kind of think about how they're able to pump out that much clothing. And then the second one is extremely fast and short turnaround time between when a trend or garment is seen on a celebrity or on the catwalk and it's in the store. So the one that I can think of is like the recent Miu Miu collection with like the pleated skirts. Like I think that came out last summer, and then by December, like it was in Zara and Forever 21. Very, very fast. Like clothes should not be made that fast. And they're also stealing designs, so not good. The third one is offshore manufacturing, where labor is the cheapest, which you've talked about a little bit. So bad labor practices, including child labor, human rights violations. I actually have a website called goodonyou.eco, ECO, and they give sustainability ratings on a wide variety of brands. And their ratings include being able to see through worker safety, living wages, and animal welfare. And they present their ratings in a clear and accessible way so that anyone can understand. So it's a really good website to use if you're not really sure if a brand is sustainable or not. And then the last tip is if they use cheap and low quality materials like polyester, which you mentioned. So it's always really important to check the tags of your clothes to see what they're made of. I think that's the biggest indicator and the easiest indicator whether to see like if a company is fast fashion or not. So that's our tips for this week. We hope that you're able to take this advice and really think about it when you shop in the future, so we can create a more sustainable environment. So before our next segment, we're going to have some guests from Japan's Coco Echo. We have an ad from Rent the Runway, so let's hear it from them.
Rent the Runway is an online platform that allows users to rent various styles of clothing, accessories, and jewelry to wear for special occasions without purchasing by subscribing to different plans offered by the website. RTR is committed to promoting sustainable fashion. The rental model can help reduce the waste of clothing for a single wear, reduce the need for new clothing, and slow down the environmental impact of the fashion industry. RTR also has physical stores in some cities, allowing the customers to try on and choose the clothing they like. If you are interested in RTR, please search the Rent the Runway official website to explore more interesting content.
Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you to this week's sponsor, Rent the Runway. But today we have some very special guests with us. They're from the nonprofit organization based here in Tokyo called Coco Echo. We have Masami and Sasura.
Hi, nice to meet you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting us.
This is you guys are the perfect guests for this episode. About sustainability and upcycling. Yes.
Okay, so I know Masami, you were like the co-founder, and then you were a leader last year, I believe, of the circle. So I wanted to ask how you came up with the concept of Coco Echo and why you joined and kind of what Coco is.
Well, in university, I started to get interested in sustainability, although I didn't know much about it yet, and I wanted to learn myself. And in SOPHIA University, I'm sure there are a lot of sustainable circles and stuff like that, but I think, well, most of them are like in Japanese. I'm not fluent in Japanese, so I wanted like an English circle, which I think there is one, but I think like their goals or like focus is kind of different from like the focus I wanted to like learn more about, which was like fast fashion and just I don't know, just like anyway, I just didn't feel like that was the type of circle I wanted to be in.
That
So
makes
I
sense.
thought I wanted to create my own.
Wow, yeah.
So me and some friends started a circle called Coco Echo, and I think as I learned more about sustainability, it was kind of depressing, honestly.
Yeah, it is. It's
and
so sad.
it makes me feel like I can't do anything to help the world. Like all of the not all, but a lot of the articles I read is like, oh, it's too late. Like we have like 7 years left until like
it's so
the
scary.
effects of global warming are irreversible.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, then what's the point? Like it made me feel so pessimistic, and I just wanted a platform where like we spread positivity as well. So like encouraging people like, no, like we can still do like what we can do. You know, like it doesn't. Yeah. So.
I feel like you are making a difference though. Like you have to start small, you know, in order to get like big. And I think you are doing a lot more than what a lot of people are doing, you know. Like for example, for me, I'm just like, global warming, so scary, or I'm like, everyone should be scared of it, but I'm not like doing anything about it. Like the only thing I'm doing is like thrifting. But you're like actually starting like a community, which is really inspiring.
Thank
you know?
you.
Yeah.
So, why did you choose?
It was like back in freshman year, 2019, and I wasn't really into environmental issues. Like I didn't really learn about it in Japanese high school, so like I never thought about it. But like it was a new circle, so they were promoting their circles. So like they were like talking about how plastic bottles are not good for environment, and like I drink a lot of water, so like I was buying lots of plastic bottles like almost every day. So like I felt guilty and like I never thought about it. So I attended their workshop, like my bottle workshop, and also I bought metal straws for them, and like I was like, okay, I think I'm really interested in this, but I kind of chickened out like first, so like I didn't join Kokoako until like my 3rd year of university. But yeah, I'm glad I really joined. I made some good friends. It's like a safe community.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
It is good. I love that guy.
Yeah, no. Wait, I want one at temple. Wait,
Please. So, what are like your main goals with Kokoako now? Like, what would you say?
Now?
Yeah.
Well, ever since I graduated and started working, I did quit Kokoako just because I couldn't find the time. Like, I also end work at like 9 p.m. So it's a bit too late. But when I was in Kokoako, my main goal really was to just for myself to learn about sustainability, because I really didn't know much about it. So we have an Instagram account where we like create posts and like share. We have a whole like sustainable fashion segment, and just like what is fast fashion, like who makes your clothes, why you shouldn't support Shein, like just like, and as we make these posts, I'm learning too. Like I'm not like this master who knows everything about sustainable fashion. I don't know a lot, but it's nice that I get to learn as I spread awareness as well. So the main goal was to learn myself, but also spread it in a positive way. Like I didn't want to discourage people, and also like I didn't want to like get mad at people who bought like fast fashion, because like then they're gonna be like, well, then I don't want to thrift. Like you know, like I don't want to make them angry. So like I wanted like just a safe space where like people can learn about it and not feel like, you know, targeted.
Exactly. And that's really important, I think, because like I think a lot of people's argument about like shopping like Shein is like, oh, it's because I can't afford clothes, you know. But like, I mean, I feel like when you're thrifting too, like you can find like cheap stuff. But like, I mean, that's like really good, you know, that you're not like, I don't know, being aggressive towards them, you know. I think that's important.
You didn't want to force to anyone.
Yeah. I think, because I also think they would just get annoyed.
Exactly.
They'd be like, shut up.
Yeah.
We also wanted to make it easier for university students, because our circle is like based on campus. So like how to do it easily in a fun way. So for example, I remember you making a post about how to not wash often your clothes. Not how to.
How
like,
often you should wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like that's really easy to do, and like less laundry.
Yeah. You're saving money
I love
too.
that.
Yeah.
Your posts really do be teaching. Like, I remember when we first met, I was like, I remember drinking a plastic, like, out of a plastic water bottle in front of you. I was like, oh, my God, gonna hate me. No, I can't. Okay, so I know that Coco Echo holds flea markets. Kind of like your own little thrift store.
Yeah.
Like, what's that about? I want to tell everyone.
Well, I think when I started Coco Echo, my main two goals was I wanted to spread awareness on social media and eventually like organize my own flea market. And 2 years later, maybe 3 years later, it finally happened. And the main goal was just for university students to have a place where they can buy affordable fashion. Like with thrifting, I know in Japan it can get so expensive, and that's kind of what I don't like about it. Or like, there are cheap places, but it's just a bit harder to find. And that's why people kind of turn away from thrifting, because it's like, you buy a jacket for like 10,000 yen, like I can just get that at Zara or something, right? So I really wanted a place where you could buy really cute clothes for really, really cheap prices, and that's what our flea market was about. So at university, we told people like, oh, we're collecting clothes, because everyone wears nice stuff anyway, so if you have, just an exchange of clothes. So people donated a bunch of clothes. There was also another circle that had clothes from refugees, like for refugees, but they had like extra, like boxes and boxes of extra clothes. So like we took those as well. Can I add to that?
Yeah, so we kind of used university students' clothes, and like they could, I don't know how to say it, like we exchanged clothes in the university community. So I think it was really nice. Lots of people came.
We rented a space in Koenji. Like we thought like just a spot where like thrifters would go.
We just had did our episode on that.
It was really fun. At first, it was very scary because like we did like promote it online and stuff. But it's not like we have thousands of followers.
How many people would come.
It was so scary. But and we had a lot of clothes, so like. Just the pressure of like, oh my gosh, are people gonna come? But a lot of people came, even like people who just like were walking. They came. They bought. Like, our price range was like 150 yen to like maybe our most expensive was like 1,000.
Wow. Wait, I wish I was there.
But and we had really good pieces. Like people donated really cool stuff. So just like it was nice for people to have a place where they could buy good clothes for really cheap. Like that's the most important part.
Our most recent one was at Oikebajo. Like the first one we did like the preparation and like collecting clothes was pretty tough. So like we wanted to do like more easier. So like the second one was at Oikebajo, and we rented a booth. So, and this time we did with only our clothes, so we don't have to like really collect. Maybe we could like bring our family's clothes, but we did that, and it was successful too. Like lots of people came.
It's like extra change too.
That's really cool. Maybe I'll do that.
You should get clothes here. There are a lot of students.
Wow, that's so cool.
So, talking about thrifting. This is a thrifting podcast. So, was it through Coco Echo, like why you started thrifting, or was it before that?
I think I started Coco Echo 2019, but I started getting into thrifting 2021. So it wasn't. I didn't start Coco Echo because I like thrifting. Like I did thrift here and there, but I was still at that point. I was still like, oh, it's so hard to find good clothes, or what's the point of thrifting if it's so expensive anyway? Until 2021. Our friend who also joined Coco Echo, Satoko, she's also a big thrifter, and I think like ever since she joined, like we just started going thrifting like so much that like I couldn't go back. And like I guess we found like not tips and tricks to like how to thrift better, but just because we enjoyed it so much that we would spend like the whole day just thrifting. And I feel like low-key that's kind of what you need to do. When you go thrifting, you have to be like mentally prepared. It's a sport. Like
it is a sport.
My back is hurting.
Also, you're hunting.
You're like it's so hard. Like, and we have to like go to like the further thrift stores because the ones in central Tokyo are just it's vintage shopping. It's not thrifting. Like there's a bit of a difference, but. Sorry, what was the question? I feel like
no, you basically answered. What about you? When did you get into thrifting?
I think around high school. I think it was because of my older sister's influence. I don't really remember, but how I got into thrifting, it wasn't about sustainability. I just wanted to get clothes that not everyone is wearing. Because when I see someone wearing the same clothes as me, I immediately stop wearing, and that's not good, you know. So like I wasn't looking for some more original pieces, so that's how I got thrifting. And after knowing about Coco Eco, learning about fast fashion, I was like, oh, it's sustainable. So like it's original and sustainable. So like it's great. Yeah.
So do you guys find yourself shopping at fast fashion stores less now? Is it just strictly thrifting? I mean, you don't have to like lie. Shop at fast fashion.
Yeah, no, be perfectly honest.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I occasionally buy from fast fashion, like such as Uniqlo.
Yeah.
Like they have like a really nice socks collection, so I really love
Their
that.
heat tech, sorry.
Yeah. I like maybe a basic white T-shirt. It's hard to find like a really good quality and like clean shirt at thrift stores. So yeah, I do shop, but it's definitely less after learning about fast fashion.
Yeah, me too. I think, like for basics, I kind of go to fast fashion because they're like a very specific fit that I want for my basics, and like thrifting, it's mostly oversized clothes, and it's just really difficult. Or I think I can, but it'll take like a long time for me to find it. Whereas like, but like in general, I'd say like 70-80% is thrifting, and then like just the basics. I would like if there's something I've been looking for at the thrift for so long and I haven't been able to find it, then maybe I'll resort to fast fashion.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Not shaming
No,
anyone.
not shaming.
No shame.
I admit, like, I also, like, earlier, like, shop at fast fashion brands. It's just so inevitable, you know, sometimes. It's
Also,
hard.
shoes are fine too.
That's
hard to find.
Oh, yeah, shoes are hard.
I don't know if that would.
I have big feet, so I cannot find shoes at the thrift store. Even at regular stores. I can't find shoes. So unfortunately,
it's hard to completely avoid.
Do you guys like upcycle at all?
I don't really upcycle. I do like arrangement, like to a basic clothing. I put like patches and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I don't upcycle. But my sister does. She lives in London right now. She like goes to farmers market and get like the cheap denim, and she make hats or bags out of it. She has her online store right now.
Wait, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's talented.
What
is it?
I'm using, this is her thing.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's beautiful.
I know, right?
Yeah.
This is
what?
This is like a custom order, so like it's not online, but you can.
Wait, that is so
That's really cool.
Sorry, can I show other things?
Yeah, of course.
Like, she usually make bucket hats. So like these are all online, so you guys can find it.
Those are amazing. Wow.
So yeah, it's
really cool stuff.
That is really cool.
When did you start doing this?
During COVID. During quarantine, she didn't have anything to do. So she always loved denim. So she started, and first it was just for family and friends, but she recently started her
That's a good
brand.
That is so
Oh my god. See, small designers, protect her, because she
Yeah.
can like steal that.
So you have like your own designer too. Like you get these things. Wow. Because those normally would be like, if they're handmade, like what, over like $100, I feel like?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, wow. That's crazy. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having
that
us.
was really fun. Oh my gosh. Also, you guys are like inspiring me to like start like something similar to Coco Eco. Yeah. We're gonna steal from you, Lucia. But thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed episode 3. We might continue, we might not continue the show, but if we do, please stay tuned. Thank you.